The Lynk Co. 02 is the moment this brand stops being a curiosity in Europe and starts being a serious option. It is the company's first fully electric car here, and instead of playing it safe with something forgettable, Lynk Co. built a compact crossover that looks like nothing else in its class and prices it well below the cars it shares its bones with. That combination of design and value is the whole story, and standing next to it at the Bucharest Motor Show, it lands exactly the way the brand intended. From the outside, the 02 does not look like a small electric SUV trying to seem expensive. It looks like a coupe that happens to ride a little higher. The roofline drops steadily toward a sharp tail, and the whole body is smooth and low, wider than most rivals, and clearly built around the way it sits rather than how much it can carry. The split lighting signature runs thin and sharp across the nose. The surfacing down the sides is clean, and the rear wears the Lynk Co. script above a full-width light bar that stretches the whole width of the car. The wheels fill the arches well, the door handles sit flush against the body, and the proportions are the kind you usually find one or two segments higher. In this gray, under an overcast sky and beaded with rain, it looks more like a concept that made it to production intact than a budget EV. Inside is where it makes its strongest case. You sit down and immediately understand that the quality is a step above what the price suggests. The build is tight, with no rattles and a genuine sense of solidity. And the light gray upholstery with yellow contrast stitching gives the cabin a calm, designed feel rather than a cheap one. A large central touchscreen handles almost everything, with a clean and quick interface that genuinely feels a class above what some far more established brands are shipping right now. There is a slim driver display ahead of the wheel, a panoramic glass roof overhead that makes the cabin feel far bigger than the footprint, and clever touches like the removable center console box that Lynk Co. calls the Co-Box. There is also a 360-degree camera system that makes tight parking simple, which matters in a car this wide. The material choice will not fool you into thinking this is a luxury car, but it is not overdone, and that restraint is what makes it work. If detailed walkarounds like this help you decide which of these new Chinese EVs is actually worth your time, subscribe so you catch the next one. One small note that owners will appreciate: the rear air vents are not in the usual spot between the seats. They sit on the side pillars instead, which is the kind of detail that throws people at first and then quietly makes sense. Space in the back is decent for two adults, though the low coupe roofline means taller passengers will notice their head getting close to the lining, and the rising window line makes it feel a little more enclosed than an upright SUV would. For most families carrying kids, it is perfectly usable, and the perforated seats with the same yellow stitching keep the cabin feeling consistent front to back. Open the tailgate and the practicality story is honest. There is 410 liters of space back there, which works out to around 14.5 cubic feet, and it expands to roughly 1,400 liters with the rear seats folded flat. There is also a small 15-liter frunk under the hood, just enough for the charging cables. It is a reasonable boot, rather than some class-leading one, and the sloping roofline that makes the car look so good does cost you some height back here. The flat load floor and the low lip make it easy to use day to day, even if it is not the biggest in the segment. Under the floor sits a 66 kilowatt-hour usable battery, feeding a single motor on the rear axle, which makes this a rear-wheel drive crossover, something almost none of its mainstream rivals offer. Output is 268 horsepower and 253 pound-feet of torque, enough to get from 0 to 60 in about 5.2 seconds, which is genuinely quick for a car shaped like a sensible family choice. The power goes down cleanly, and the rear drive above setup gives it a more balanced, planted feel than the front-wheel drive crossovers it competes against. The official range is 277 miles, and here is the honest part. In independent highway testing, it struggled to clear 186 miles at higher speeds. So this is a car that is happiest in the city and on shorter trips rather than long motorway hauls. What takes the sting out of that is the charging. It pulls up to 150 kilowatts on a DC fast charger, which is strong for this segment, taking it from 10 to 80% in around 30 minutes, so a real-world stop on a longer trip stays short and manageable. It also supports vehicle-to-load, meaning it can power outside equipment or even top up another car. And it costs noticeably less to buy than the Volvo and Smart models it shares a platform with. Starting at around 36,000 euros, roughly $42,000, the 02 undercuts the Volvo EX30 and the Smart #1 while riding on the same underpinnings and offering more power and more range than the cars it is related to. That is the part that matters. Lynk Co did not build a cheap copy of its corporate siblings. It built the value version of a genuinely good car. The design is the hook, the price is the argument, and the fact that it drives and feels better than its number suggests is what turns a curiosity into a contender. For a brand that most buyers were not considering a year ago, that is a real shift, and it tells you the next few years in this segment are going to get a lot more interesting. For watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe for more content just like this. Leave a comment below with your thoughts or questions. I read every single one, and don't forget to click the bell icon to get notified about my next upload. See you in the next video.